Hey everybody, welcome to another video, and today we have some interesting news for Rocket Lab. We've got a surprise announcement of a new launch vehicle. This new launch vehicle is called HASTE, which is an acronym for Hypersonic Accelerator Suborbital Test Electron. So just from that name alone, especially the E, you can tell that this is essentially based on their Electron rocket. Now if you scroll down, they've got some information on HASTE. They say that it provides high-cadence flight test opportunities on a proven, reliable rocket. So although this is sort of a separate vehicle, they've got a separate name, a whole, separate logo for the thing, and they list it separately from Electron and Neutron. They are still marketing this thing as sort of a modified Electron, trying to make it clear that the hardware on this vehicle has flown a number of times before, and that this is proven to be quite reliable. The first, sub point that they have here is its reliability. They say it's a suborbital testbed launch vehicle derived from Rocket Lab's Heritage Electron rocket. HASTE provides reliable, high-cadence flight test opportunities needed to advance hypersonic and suborbital system technology development. The next point they list here is the 700 kilogram payload mass, which is a big upgrade from the standard orbital Electron, which they currently list at 300 kilograms. They say HASTE employs the same innovative carbon composite structure and 3D printed Rutherford engines as Electron, but has a modified third stage for suborbital payload deployment, a larger payload capacity of up to 700 kilograms, and options for tailored fairings to accommodate larger payloads. Now, they do mention that the HASTE vehicle has a modified third stage. What they're referring to there is the kick stage, something that the Electron has been using for years now. This is essentially the spacecraft that detaches from the second stage that actually puts a spacecraft into the specific orbit. So this is basically a modified version of their kick stage. Of course, Rocket Lab also has their Photon spacecraft. Essentially, this is a modified version of the original kick stage design that they started using a number of years ago. And then they mentioned some options for tailored fairings to accommodate larger payloads, and they do have some visuals of what that would look like further down in the website. Continuing on, they say it's rapid and frequent. From idea to in the air within 12 months, HASTE is operated from Launch Complex 2 at the Mid-Atlantic Regional Spaceport within NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia. HASTE is not the promise of a future capability, it's a completed launch vehicle ready for flight now. So once again, they're marketing this sort of as a modified Electron, which of course is pretty much what this is. But again, they do still list it as a separate new vehicle, essentially. They offer custom trajectories, flight test conditions are critical for hypersonic and suborbital testing. HASTE is a liquid launch vehicle with deep throttle capability and a third stage with attitude control, and can provide flight trajectories with payload release velocities, altitudes, and orientations tailored to your mission. Now down here you can see all of those different payload fairing options that I mentioned earlier. You can see the standard Electron design right here with the standard payload fairing. But then you can see that these ones are substantially larger. This one even has a larger diameter. So it looks like there's a lot of different options that customers can have with this HASTE vehicle. They do also have a note here about the common interfaces, reducing the integration time and cost, probably taking advantage of the space system side of Rocket Lab's business. Then there's mission profile details down here. Again, payload mass about 700 kilograms, payload separation velocity between 3 kilometers per second to 7.5 kilometers per second, payload separation altitude 80 kilometers and up, deployment orientation, flight path angle, body rates, and altitudes will be tailored to meet payload requirements. Moving along, they mention again that this is a vehicle that launches from Wallops Island, Virginia, so it doesn't sound like there's any plans for launching this from New Zealand. There might be some regulation issues with launching from there potentially. I'm not entirely familiar with it, but it's good to see them getting even more use from their launch pad in Virginia. I know they've said they were only expected to do about 10 missions out of that pad per year. So I'm not totally sure if if the HASTE vehicle would count towards that 10 missions per year, or if they were only talking about orbital missions. So it'll be interesting to see how many flights they're doing, with orbital electrons and then these HASTE vehicles. out of the Virginia launch pad. And then down here, they've got 4 partners that are already interested in using HASTE. This includes Dynetics, Hypersonix, the Missile Defense Agency, part of the DoD, and Defense Innovation Unit. I've got a number of other videos on Rocket Lab, including a new video on whether Rocket Lab stock is a buy in 2023, so be sure to check those videos out, and I'll see all of you in the next video.